Coming to you from New York City, I'm your host, Maryann Castello, and you are watching Bear All, where we get to the heart of the matter with our special show topics, healthy lifestyles, and our special guests, like the one we have today, Mike Marino. And I'm so glad that you're watching, because today in the studio, we have Rich. You're back from tour. Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, I'm here, back from the road, and it feels great. Maryann, congratulations. This is going to be a great show.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be so much fun. And it's like, not only do you get to have special show topics and what we cover, but what I love about it is we could discuss healthy lifestyles. Yep. And it's not that hard to do to have a healthy lifestyle, right?
Got to do it.
You've had to do it, and I'm sure sooner or later we'll hear about your story. I think it's exciting. So we'll be back in just a few moments. You don't want to miss it. Bad Boy Comedy, Mike Marino.
Hey guys, my name is Danny Felt. I am a singer-songwriter and music entrepreneur, CEO of Danny Felt Consultants. So I got started in music as a singer-songwriter. I was in studios since I was 14 years old, writing and recording music. I started a company called Danny Felt Consultants, which is a company to help connect music producers, photographers, web designers, and so much more. I have such a huge passion for helping people, for marketing, and for spirituality, and I just really wanted to combine them all into one. So I decided to create this really awesome program to help musicians with not only marketing, but empowering their mindset. We need more positivity and empowerment for musicians as a whole and the world as a whole, and I feel like this is a really great starting place. I look forward to seeing you inside the program.
Inside out, outside in, two hearts touch, love begins.
And we are back, and you are watching Barrel. I'm Maryann Castello. I'm here with Rich as well. But without further ado, he has performed in every major comedy club, theater, casino, and event center from New York to Los Angeles and around the world. He has also shared the stage with some of the biggest names in the business. He is New Jersey's bad boy of comedy, who is making America Italian again. We have the one, the only, Mike Marino with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and thank you for being on the show.
Great introduction. I was wondering who you're talking about. I'm like, who's coming in?
We're talking about you.
Thank you for the escort. That was amazing. Appreciate that.
Absolutely love it.
Thank you.
And you're just coming back from a show in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, I was actually at the old school Mount Airy Lodge, which is rejuvenated, remodeled, and now it's a big casino out in the Poconos. So it was great, and luckily sold out show. A lot of people having fun, and here we are today.
That's amazing. So I have some questions for you, because we want everybody to bear all the information about Mike Marino we may or may not know about you.
Well, I'll bear as much as I can, but I'm Italian, so you might not get everything.
This I understand.
I don't know nothing.
Well, what I do know is that you have a show on Facebook called Live from My Mother's Basement.
Yeah.
And now both Richie and I have had the pleasure in being present in your mother's basement. And we could see it's filled with all kinds of memories. You know, from the kitchen to the bar, to the couches, the tables, and even the drum set. And I'm assuming this is where you and your family spent a lot of time.
Yeah, the good old days, man. From when I was, I guess, 7 years old, when my family first bought that house, my mother, my father, my two brothers, I'm the middle child. You know, nice Italian family with Christian names, Anthony, Paul, and Michael. We were down in the basement. That's where Mommy cooked. That's where we played. That's where the fun was. That's where our little band was. That's where Daddy's bar was. That's where the boiler room is. You don't go in there. There's an illegal bathroom down there. You know, you got to be careful when you use it, you know. And so here we are all these years later, and I actually own the house, and I just kept everything from that time.
Right.
Or their grandparents and parents, and I put it all back, and now it's basically a state-of-the-art replica of what it all used to be. And it's never going to change, and I'm never going to get rid of the house. It's a museum.
Right. And so then I have a question. If your mom did all the cooking in the basement, was the kitchen on the first floor your showroom? Is that what that was?
There still is a kitchen on the first floor, and everybody walks into it and goes, wow, this is gorgeous. What a nice kitchen. So let's go downstairs and eat. That's pretty much it. And then downstairs was basically, in the basement, just a stove, specifically for cooking.
Right.
Which back in the day probably would have been almost illegal, because where are the fumes going?
Right.
When the jets were cooking stuff, there was no hood that took it out to the air,
Right.
like upstairs. You couldn't even open a window. There's just little tiny basement windows. But who's going to say anything?
Which is true.
Who's going to say anything?
No, who's going to say anything? But you're also in the construction business, where you
Right.
used to be.
Well, my family was,
Okay.
still is. My two brothers have two different divisions of my father's original construction company, which I used to work for to make ends meet when I was in high school and college.
Right.
And yeah, so I do have a common know-how to remodel a house and do my own work.
Right.
Bash holes in the walls and say, okay, let's borrow some electric from the neighbor.
And you said the bathroom down there is illegal?
Well, it was when we first made it a long time ago. So I guess I was early teens, 13, 14 years old. And
Right.
it was a crawl space. There was crawl spaces in the basement that went under the porch.
Right.
So what we did, we dug it out, which is probably not a good thing, because that's the foundation. So we dug it out, put a toilet in there, but because it was below the water line, you sat on the toilet like you were sitting on a throne. You were like 4 feet in the air. Your feet didn't even touch the ground.
Right.
But now we remodeled it completely the right way. And
Right.
so now it is a legal bathroom. You know, when you flush, it actually goes to the left.
Where it's supposed to go.
Yeah.
And now you have a bar in that basement. It's beautiful. And you have a cash register that's there. You have plaques on the wall. But there's one thing I did notice. All of the bottles have labels, and they all face the same exact way, almost like they're in uniform. So I have a question. Is this deliberately done or a happy accident? Or does Mike have a little OCD? Or are you more like sleeping with the enemy?
I don't know. I've been neat my whole life. It's not an accident. I make sure everything is facing forward, and it's very detailed and accurate. Now, I used to work in a supermarket, and I used to stock the shelves, and they said you have to face everything to the front. Face, face, face. And I used to do baby food, and there was hundreds and hundreds of little jars. So I always made it nice and neat and faced in front so that you could sell it.
Right.
And I guess it stuck with me, because now I do it wherever I go. However, people do say, you know, you got a problem. You're OCD. I'm like, no. I grew up with an Italian mother who said, if you are not neat, I'm going to slap the crap out of you. So, you know, and people do come into my house, and I like to rearrange things, and then they ask me, can you spot what I did? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to take me seconds. Put that bottle back.
Do you ever deliberately before anybody comes into the house, turn bottles just to see if they're paying attention from one time to another?
No, I've never done it in the reverse.
No.
They do it on purpose to tease me.
Right.
But no, I wouldn't do that. That would actually irritate me. I don't know what it is. Like when I go out on tour, like if I'm leaving, my house has to be immaculate. Everything has to be in perfect order, and I don't want anybody there because they're going to ruin it for me. I don't even trust anybody. I can call somebody from another country and go, can you go to my house and check to see if the heat's running?
Right.
I know somebody's going to mess up my house. I don't even make that call. I'll call the heating company.
The heating company.
Yeah.
So you don't have somebody come in and flush the toilets and things like that to make
I
sure?
wish. I don't even know who would do that. I don't trust nobody.
You don't trust anybody?
No.
Well, you're Italian.
Yeah, right?
Well,
There you go.
that gives it away.
A
Well,
lot of people calling me on that. You know, you're so neat. I'm like, maybe you're just too sloppy.
see, I like that theory. That's what people say about me
You're too
too.
sloppy. Pick up after yourself.
Absolutely.
That's what my mother said. You need to pick up after yourself. And so I do.
But that's good. Your mother taught you very well.
I think so.
I love it.
I'm polite. I look both ways before I cross the street.
This is good. Now, was your father neat too?
Not like me and my mom, no.
No. How about your brothers?
My younger brother, yes. My older brother, no. If I'm the one that's got the OCD, then yes, it's me.
It's you.
It's me. Oh, yes. I think when I was younger, I watched that movie, American Gigolo, with Richard Gere.
Yeah.
And when he opened up his closets, each hanger was an inch space. I'm just like that.
Really?
Yeah, I'm American Gigolo. I like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
My shirts are all space.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And what happens if they're not spaced just right? Does this
I
drive-
freak out.
You do?
Yeah. Why? Have you been in my closet?
No, I haven't been in
Get
your
out of
closet.
my closet.
But now I know, how to irritate. It's just move things. But even in your bathroom, your guest towels are perfect. I've noticed this when I've been there. I admire it, actually.
Yeah.
I don't mock it. I admire it.
I like the way my bathroom is. You notice the towels are all perfectly lined
beautiful.
up.
It's
And they have the
beautiful.
letter M. M for Mike. I got
Yeah.
them at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Beautiful.
On sale with the coupon?
No, I don't. Yeah, well. I do. Yeah, the coupon comes in the mail. It's 20% off.
Absolutely. And they never expire. Do you know that?
That's right. And it says it does.
Right, but it doesn't.
You know what you can do? You can actually go shopping there, buy stuff, and forget your coupon. Go back the next day and go, I forgot my coupon, and they take money off your credit card.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess we just did a commercial for Bed Bath & Beyond.
I think we did. And so you do the show, like I said, live from my mother's basement. What's the premise of the show? How do you do it? How often do you do it? Let us know.
Well, I started doing live from my mother's basement just as like a podcast because I had done many different podcasts. And then it caught a rhythm. A lot of people were writing into the show. So I did it not only on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, but it's also on Italian American radio here in New York. And it's also on DDV radio every Thursday night at 8 o'clock on the East Coast. And I just do it whenever I want. I don't have a structured time. I'm busy. I got things to do. I wish I could,
Right.
but so
Do you
far
have-
so good. So maybe twice a week I get it done. But since I travel so much, I do live from my mother's basement via Cuba.
I've seen that.
I'm in Cuba now.
But you're doing live from my mother's basement.
That's just the title of the show.
I love it. Absolutely. And do you have special themes for the show, or you just talk about whatever when the camera starts rolling?
I don't really structure a show. I just talk about whatever I feel like talking about. And quite honestly, so many people write in so fast, they take me on the ride.
Right.
So if they open up a can of worms and they want to talk about what's current, then I just go with it. And usually every single time it's an abundance of letters, so I can't really keep up anyway.
Right.
So I talk about whatever. So, I guess a couple of days ago I was doing a podcast and some guy said, hey, what is your view on the synagogue massacre? I hate that word,
Right.
massacre. And I expressed myself about it, but I don't like to because it's supposed to be a show about joy.
Right.
But it did happen, so I did. So that became the topic of that particular show.
I think that's great because it's not all fluff. It's you
Yeah.
get involved.
They asked, I got into it.
Yeah.
I had my view of what I would do.
Yeah. It's good.
Might not be good for your show, but for my show, yup.
Because
Yeah.
you're Italian. I'm sure I could only know.
Don't aggravate me.
And where can people find your show? I know that you said Facebook. You also said Instagram too.
Yeah, all my social media is at Mike Marino Live.
Okay.
So at Mike Marino Live on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, Twitter.
And what I like about your show, because I've watched it several times, is you help with sponsors and you also talk about what you believe in. And I also saw that you were helping out a junior, I want to say he's a teenager, that was coming to your shows or sneaking in the back door and things like that. And you do things to try to help people. And I love that about you.
He's a 13-year-old kid in Las Vegas and he wants to be a comedian.
Right.
So he was writing into the show. He was actually calling in. You could see his little face and whatnot. So I said to him, look, you're not 21. You can't come into a place where they serve alcohol. But if you meet me out front, we could take some pictures together. I could talk to you for a little while. And while the show was not on, I brought him into the green room so he could see what that looks like.
Right.
And then there was an 18-year-old girl who wrote into the show, and she just had surgery. And I guess it was a pretty intense surgery. And she wanted to come to the show. So I mailed her some tickets, but again, she was underage. She couldn't come to the show. So I gave her some T-shirts and some swag, some Mike Marino memorabilia, and her mother and father saw the show while I hung around with her on the other side of the club so that she can at least see what it's like.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, when we come back, we will be getting more up close and personal with our special guest, Mike Marino, and talking about his lifestyle and his health scare that he had. So please stick around as we share more about Mike Marino on Barrel.
Got an idea for an invention? Don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp.
InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas, like yours.
Are you ready to put InventHelp in your corner?
Call now, 800-351-1395.
Ion Indie Magazine is a coalition of industry professionals that have joined forces with one goal in mind: to get all genres of music read about, seen, and heard. Ion Indie Magazine has been providing music lovers superb journalism and exceptional photography. Ion Indie Magazine is the fastest growing online music magazine today. We are the initiative for indie music worldwide. For more information about Ion Indie Magazine, check out www.ionindiemagazine.com. We love our artists, but don't piss off the fairy rock mother.
Inside out, words so true. From the inside out, honey, I fell in love with you.
And thank you for joining us again on Barrel. I'm Maryann Castello, and we are with our special guest, Mike Marino. Yes, and before we left, because now this is where we're going to barrel as much as we can, but when we met, we were talking about health and things that have happened to us. And anybody who knows me knows I'm all about gut health. And it's our foundation. That's why I'm into gut health, and there's a lot of jokes.
Yeah.
And sometimes through genetics or lifestyles, the gut can be affected. Can you tell us about your health scare and what you experienced?
Yeah, I don't know how many years ago it was, let's say 4 years ago, that I was touring so much and I felt like there was just so much pressure on me to sell so many tickets and make so many people happy that I started to eat way too much, and I was eating late at night, and I'd eat before I went to bed, and that was my joy, actually. I'd love to have a nice couple of slices of pizza and a Coke and then just go to sleep. But I started to hurt my stomach, and I felt like I was getting stabbed. I constantly felt like in the lower right portion of my stomach there was a knife in there all the time. So I went on a cruise ship, and I was getting ready to do a show, and all of a sudden I had a fever and I was sweating. I had the chills, that type of thing when you can't just understand what this is. Right. So you're thinking, let me go get some NyQuil and get rid of this. So I went into the infirmary on the cruise ship, and I said to the doctor, let me have some NyQuil and Gatorade. And he said, no, that's not what this is. You have 104 fever. Wow. We're going to throw you in the cold shower, cancel your shows, and put you in quarantine. Your eye whites are yellow, which means you have an infection in your liver. So The next day, they made me get off the ship and go to a professional doctor on an island, and I was scared, and I'm like, I don't want to die on this island. So I said to someone, hey, could you just close your eyes and let me sneak out the back? And I did, and I got back on the ship, and I toughed it out, and I got back to Los Angeles. I went to go see my primary care physician, and he just looked at me, and he goes, here's what you're going to do. Get in your car, go to the emergency room. You have diverticulitis.
Wow.
And I'm like, how do you know that? And he goes, I know what's going on.
Wow.
So I went to the emergency room, and they shoved all kinds of tubes in me and laid me on the bed, and the guy said, yeah, you have an infection in your colon. It's called diverticulitis. We're going to let you stay here for 5 to 6 days until we can calm it down. You also have an infection in your liver, which was caused by that as well. So I stayed in the hospital for 6 days in a lot of pain in the stomach. And the surgeon there said to me, you got to come back in 3 months and we'll remove a piece of your colon. And I'm like, no, there's no such thing as colon removal in my life. So when I got out of there, I toughed it out for about 6 months, and I started losing a lot of weight because I was afraid to eat.
Right.
And then I went to go see another surgeon and another gastroenterologist in New Jersey, and I said, you know, what's the situation? And one guy said, here's the situation. You can either die or we save you.
Wow.
What do you want?
Wow.
Right.
And I said, save me. And he goes, we're going to take out a piece of your colon.
Right.
So I went into what they called elective surgery. And when I was done, the doctor said to me, he goes, you had a mass in you like the size of a softball. So you're welcome.
Wow.
And I sat in that hospital for about 5 days.
Wow.
I lost a large amount of weight, which I wish I still was at that weight. Because after a couple of months, I had a new lease on life.
Right.
My colon could work like you have no idea.
Yeah.
Because, of course, when I was in the pain, I was, you know, going through massive constipation. I couldn't go. So I was always afraid to eat. And, of course, it's a topic you don't want to talk to anybody about because it's embarrassing. But after being in the hospital for 5 days and they cured me, I mean, I could eat a shoe and it would come right on out. If I could be graphic,
Yeah.
it was like having all new plumbing.
So now you have the perfect.
Now I go to the bathroom, okay, but I mean, I eat twice as much,
Right.
which is, you know, it's nice that they saved me like that, but I really shouldn't be eating like that because, you know, being Italian, we do eat foods that destroy your colon. Macaroni, pasta, anything with seeds in it, sauces,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, pizza's not a food group either. And you like pizza. That's what I just heard.
What are you talking about? Pizza's on the top of the food group. It's right up there. Pizza.
Yeah, me too.
It's right up there with raviolis.
Well, did this experience change you, like currently now? I know back then because you were afraid to eat, but do you feel it made any change on you? Did it have any
Well, you don't take life for granted because I really was pushing the needle. I was out every night till 2 o'clock in the morning, no matter what.
Right.
Whereas now I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to bed after a show. And I try not to eat like I was, especially after a performance, but it's hard because that's when your adrenaline's at its highest and you're ready to food party.
Right.
You know, I don't party, but food is fun.
Yeah.
And I'm trying not to take advantage of that. I came up with a whole stand-up routine about being in the hospital and what it's like to be under that kind of surgeon's care and the scare of it. And you can't make it funny, of course, because the whole thing it's hilarious.
Well, it's a certain topic too that nobody wants to talk about.
No.
It's one of my favorite topics, by the way.
I'll never forget when the lady said to me, she goes, we can release you from the hospital when we know the surgery is successful. And I go, how do you know if the surgery is successful? An x-ray? She goes, no, you pass gas.
Yes.
If you pass gas, we know the tubes are connected correctly.
Wow.
And I go, yeah, but I'm not eating anything. And she goes, well, chew some gum and pinch your cheeks together. And I'm like, did you just tell me to squinch up my cheeks? She goes, well, it helps you pass the gas. I said, let me get this straight. I fart, I leave. And that became the crux of a whole brand new stand-up joke.
Yeah.
Because they actually were sincere about it, but I had to make a joke about it. I never forget when the guy said to me, he goes, you know, in the next couple of days, we'll probably allow you to go to the bathroom on your own.
Right.
And I says, well, I haven't been going to the bathroom. And he goes, yes, you have. I go, well, I haven't been going on my own. The bathroom's over there. I never left the bed. And he goes, oh, you don't know what's on you? And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, there's a catheter in you. I go, oh, you're kidding. He goes, well, how'd you think you were going to the bathroom? I thought I just didn't have to go. And he goes, no, it's on the side. I'll have the girl come in and take it out. I'm like, no, I can do it. That's embarrassing, but it's comedy.
It is comedy. And because you're sitting right here, now I know you were able to pass gas.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Because you've been released.
The 7th day, I rang the buzzer. Tell every nurse to come in the room. I want everybody here for this. Get the camera. We're going to put this up on Instagram. You ready? Send me home. Get his papers. I don't smell anything. It's very fresh in here.
It's very fresh.
Well, I have no food in me.
No, but now, now if you actually made a can of baked beans and you add pineapple juice, now you could make your own Hawaiian music.
Well, I guess. Okay. Well,
see, there you go.
I like the pineapple. I never was a fan of beans.
No, me neither.
I don't even eat fish. I hate fish. I'm allergic to most fish and everything else. Just I can't look at it. Because somebody asked me once, "What's it like at your house on Christmas Eve?" I'm like, I don't know. I don't stay there.
You don't stay for the 7 fishes?
I leave and I go have some macaroni somewhere.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's good. Now, because your career these days has taken off and you've become a world traveler, do you make any changes to your health routine from when you're home versus when you're traveling to keep everything flowing?
Well, I have my coffee in the morning. That's pretty much all I need.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
And that helps from the pizza the night before.
Oh, yes. I just turn the coffee on and I gotta go.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Aromatherapy.
I guess. Aromatherapy.
That's how I look at it for the body.
I'm having this conversation with you and he's behind me with the guitar. That's very uncomfortable for him.
Now, if he tells you to bend over, be careful. Then I'd run.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely. Now, when you travel, it could be exhilarating to travel, but it's also very exhausting. It could be very debilitating at times. What do you do to distress or wind down? Because that helps, relax the gut and everything like that. Do you do anything like that?
Nowadays you can have medical marijuana.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Calm me down.
It calms you down.
Which you can also converse in reverse, because sometimes this medical marijuana make you start looking at the pizza in a whole different ballgame.
See,
that pizza looks delicious. Well, I do need to medicate.
So is it one piece at that point, or do you eat the whole pie because you got the munchies?
I've been known to eat a whole pie.
Really?
Not every place calls it a pie. Only it's a New York, New Jersey thing, a pizza pie.
Right.
When you're in an airport, it's a self-serving, what is it called? For yourself. It's just one pie, little
Oh,
one
the
like
personal
this.
size.
The personal size pizza is very personal. And it's usually like a slice and a half in normal terms.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, because some personal pan pizzas, you get the 10-inch, the 12-inch, and before you know it, it's the whole pie.
That's a bar pie, right?
A bar pie.
Bar pie.
A bar pie's nice. They got an airport pie. The last airport I was in Phoenix. I was crossing from Marino to Phoenix to New Jersey, and a pizza was $18. This big. $18.
Any toppings?
No. That's for a margarita.
Oh.
So I passed on the pizza because I just couldn't get past that cost. And I settled for some cashews.
Well, cashews are good.
I know. I'm trying to eat healthy.
They have protein.
I was supposed to only have 6 cashews. I ate the whole bag.
That's a lot of fiber.
Yeah, well, I don't have a problem.
This is true. And that's how you can tell when you're traveling you don't have a problem.
Yeah.
Which is good. That's really good. Now, I know it's such a subject. It's so taboo. I'm so sorry.
It's a very crappy topic.
Yeah. I had
But it's
another word
important,
for
though,
it.
because you know what? Once I did go through that, and I would talk to other people who would say, I got this pain in my stomach. Like, I know what you got.
Yeah.
And
Trust me, you need to go.
Well, the fact that you were your own survivor, you said you stuck it out. You were very lucky
Sure.
that nothing happened from when you got back on that ship to when you
Very
came back
dangerous.
home. That
That's
is very
dangerous.
dangerous.
Because you can get perforated and then you infect your whole
Absolutely.
chest cavity, and then God knows what happens to you.
Exactly. And there's somebody behind you that knows that story all too
Oh,
well.
is that right?
Yes.
That's
So
happened to me. That's happened to me.
Okay, wow.
you share common knowledge.
Yeah.
You know.
Colon knowledge.
Yes. See, there you go.
We share colon knowledge.
Absolutely.
I too go now like a 12-year-old kid, so just we could
Isn't
commiserate
this
on
great?
It is. It's such a wonderful topic.
Okay,
And
well.
there's people that, if you don't know what's going on with your gut, I tell them keep a poop journal. It's very fun to read. They are so embarrassed to keep it, but yet it's so important. And thank you for sharing your personal experience.
Well, you know what? On a serious note, luckily they could do that type of surgery.
Absolutely.
And then he cut me open. They went in with little cameras and
Robotic.
yes.
Absolutely.
And the surgeon was a genius. And now they come to my shows. And I always give them free tickets just in case there's another emergency.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have to take a break. But when we come back, we will play a game. Are you up for that?
I'm up
play
for it.
a game? Perfect. Stick around with Mike Marino here on Barrel. I'm certain this next segment will be hilarious. We'll be right back.
Both sides of life looked away, never to find him the same.
Thank you for tuning back in, and you're watching Barrel with Maryann Castello, and we are here with Mike Marino. And as promised, and I'm so glad you want to play a game with us.
Okay.
This should be fun.
Good game.
So, Rich, can you provide us maybe with some game music or something?
Of course.
Thank you, Maestro. Okay, so we have some sentences for you, Mike, that we would love for you to finish, okay? You're Italian, so here we go. I love to eat meatballs, brajol, and macaroni covered in...
Gravy.
Gravy, he does it. So you say gravy, you are Italian.
Well, you know what? There's that big argument. Is it gravy or is it sauce?
Exactly.
Now, my mother, who's from Italy, and we are Abruzzese, she always said, sauce is marinara, or marinara.
Right.
And gravy is because there's meat in the sauce.
She is correct.
All right.
Absolutely, I love it. So far, he's a winner. Okay, you're from New Jersey. So I know from being in your mother's basement, you used to love to go to the Jersey Shore. And maybe you swam in the ocean wearing
A bathing suit?
a bathing suit. Not a Speedo, huh?
Oh, no, I didn't Speedo. No.
You never would.
I'm not that type of Italian. I'm blonde. I could pass as a regular guy on the beach. Speedo? Oh, no. I'm not from that generation.
Well, that's
I mean, I had some friends that wore Speedos. It was not my type of thing.
Have you ever bare it all?
No, I don't bear it all.
Actually, you're
No.
innocent.
Even in the gym, I wear a bathing suit and a shower. I don't want to know none of that. Back it up.
Well, if you're down the Jersey Shore and you were there all the time as a teenager, I remember my first kiss because I was
On the beach?
on the beach, underneath one of those little boats that are on the beach.
Well, yeah, there was the lifeguard boats that flipped over at night. You went under there when you were a little kid, or under the boardwalk, you know.
Under the boat.
I don't know if my first kiss was actually on the beach, but it was always the good old days and the romantic times.
But you remember it.
I don't really remember my first kiss. I mean, there was just so many.
I'm so sorry if you're watching, sweetheart. I'm so sorry.
Who?
I don't know. But you had a first kiss with somebody.
Well, how old were you when you had your first kiss? I can't even remember.
See, that's okay. I'll let you slide on that one.
You know? And then there was a lot of people who lied about it.
They lied about it?
Yeah, most guys did. I had my first kiss. How old were you? 7.
From your mother? On the cheek?
Remember you used to kiss your grandmother?
Or they used to
Grandma
pinch
got
your
a
cheeks,
mustache.
remember? Yes, they did. All right, so you travel on cruise ships when you're performing. One of the funniest things I ever saw on the ship was...
Me.
You as you.
Yeah, I entertain on the ships.
You do.
Yeah.
Do you take any time off when you're entertaining? Do you walk around the ship, do things?
Well, of course, you know, you get to enjoy what the other people who are paying to see and go and do enjoy. This week we're going out to Cuba, and not that many people get to go to Cuba, but the ships get to pull in there now because of the new law that the president passed, and so we're going to go to Havana and different ports in Cuba. It's a lot of fun. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, it's different.
Wow.
So you'll stick with your medicinal marijuana and you won't have to worry about the Cuban cigars.
Yes.
Look at those eyes, tells it all. All right, last question. I hope for my future that...
Well, I hope for my future that I can keep on doing what I love to do, which is making people happy.
Oh, see,
Yeah.
that's great.
And make a lot of money doing it. I could put that in there.
And making pizza part of the food group, I think, too.
Yes, well, hey, I didn't know it wasn't, so we'll keep it in there.
You use gravy on top of pizza?
I would dip pizza in a gravy.
Okay, you would
Oh,
dip
yes.
it in. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
You know, a lot of people dip their pizza crust in ranch dressing.
No.
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 In fact, now all this talk about pizza, I'll make sure that when I'm done here today, I'll walk down the street and I'll find myself a nice New York slice of pizza.
That's
There
good
you go.
too. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Old school. Put a lot of garlic on it. I don't plan on talking to anybody later.
Well, just, give them garlic. Doesn't that cancel it out? They say if you're on a date, both of you eat garlic.
I don't know, but because of my surgery, I do know about Beano.
This is true.
Alpha Beano, this better work.
So you take that before you eat the pizza now.
Supposed to, yeah.
There you go. See?
I didn't bring any Beano with me to this interview, so
So there'll be no garlic on that pizza.
no, there'll just be no Beano. I'm having the garlic.
Well, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
See, he survived playing the game, and
Yeah.
actually he is a winner.
Wow.
I will say he's a winner because you're on the show. That's why. And you know
love
what?
doing this.
You are a very special guest because this is the premiere episode of Bear All. So
Yeah, that's pressure.
see that? I love it. Absolutely. Wow. Our guest, the bad boy of comedy, Mike Marino, is live in our studio, and we will be discussing his personal career, choice, and how he pursued it. Stay tuned for more of Bear All with Maryann Castello.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Hey guys, my name is Danny Felt. I am a singer-songwriter and music entrepreneur, CEO of Danny Felt Consultants. So I got started in music as a singer-songwriter. I was in studios since I was 14 years old, writing and recording music. I started a company called Danny Felt Consultants, which is a company to help connect music producers, photographers, web designers, and so much more. I have such a huge passion for helping people, for marketing, and for spirituality, and I just really wanted to combine them all into one. So I decided to create this really awesome program to help musicians with not only marketing, but empowering their mindset. We need more positivity and empowerment for musicians as a whole and the world as a whole, and I feel like this is a really great starting place. I look forward to seeing you inside the program.
Got an idea for an invention? Don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp.
InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas, like yours.
Are you ready to put InventHelp in your corner?
Call now, 800-351-1395.
Inside out, outside in, two hearts touch, love begins.
And we are back at Barrel. I'm Maryann Castello, and we're still with our special guest, Mike Marino. Thank you so much for sticking around for us.
You're welcome.
So, I want to know that you've entered into the entertainment industry at a very early age. Where did you start exactly?
My mother said that when she went into the hospital to have me, they used me as the model to show the new moms how to diaper kids. So there you go. I've been in the business since I'm born. Then when I was a little kid, all I ever wanted to do was be in television. So I used to impersonate TV commercials. And then when I first got into, let's say, grammar school and kindergarten and all of that, I was always doing plays. I remember being a big fan of the TV show The Bowery Boys. I used to watch it on a Sunday. So when I was in 3rd grade, I wrote the play that we did, and it was based on what we saw the Bowery Boys do. With, if you remember, Satch and Slip and the Dead End Kids and stuff like that. Then when I was in junior high and high school, I was always doing plays. And when I was in high school, that's when I first started going to acting school in New York City.
And you started out in commercials?
Yeah, I grew up doing TV commercials. I did my first Screen Actors Guild commercial. I was probably 14 years old, 15. I nailed one of the biggest ad campaigns of all time when I was 18. United Airlines, the commercial was joined in it. No, it was for United Airlines. I played a Marine coming home from boot camp. It was so sentimental and the song was so unbelievable that it made people cry.
Right.
So I ended up getting nominated for a Clio Best Male Performer in a TV commercial. I think that was in the early 80s. And I lost to Chuck McCann, who was singing and dancing for Dr. Pepper back in the day. But that nailed me, any agent you could think of in New York City.
Right.
And I was auditioning constantly.
And then from commercials, you went into primetime soaps. Is that how that worked?
Not really, no. What happened was I was going to an acting school in New York at that time, and there was a teacher in there who was the casting director of, I think it was Ryan's Hope at the time. So I ended up getting a few lines on that one, a few lines on another one, a few lines on another one. Then I got cast to do an under 5 on As the World Turns. And I remember Marissa Tomei was the star of that segment. A few months later, they called me back, one other guy and a girl, and they said, you're going to be the antagonists in this storyline. So I was on As the World Turns for probably about 8 months as a recurring character. And I was just so young and naive that I'm like, okay, this is cool, but I want to be a movie star.
Right, and you have film credits though too.
Well, luckily you started getting some film credits. Now I have more film credits than ever, thank God, and hopefully they'll go even higher. I was actually offered a movie a few days ago. The guy sends me the script and he says, we want you to play you in the movie. And I'm like, okay, great. Why would I be? Never mind. Okay. So you never know. Show business is crazy.
No, you never do know. And you were also a sketch player on The Tonight Show, and you were there pretty regularly.
I was always on The Tonight Show for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
What had happened was I auditioned to do stand-up, and the guy who was the casting director said, he goes, I'm not the guy who casts stand-up, but I'm the guy who casts sketch comedy. I think you'd be great. Why don't you start off on the show as a sketch comedian? So I started doing them, and I was on many times, and I started doing them with Jay, and I became friendly with Jay, and no one took me as a comedian. They're like, well, he's a sketch artist, which is to them is an actor.
Right.
So I never did stand-up on The Tonight Show, and I remember in the 8th season that I was doing it, I did stand-up on the Martin Short Show. And after I did my appearance on the show, I went down to The Tonight Show to do a sketch, and the stage manager looks at me and she goes, didn't I just see you doing stand-up? And I go, yeah. And she goes, why aren't you doing stand-up on this show? I'm like, do you all talk to each other? I wanted to.
Right.
Well, you're so good at what you do. So, you know what? Okay. I'm a comedian on that show, and I'm a sketch artist on this show. I'm a funny person on that stage, but I'm an actor on that film. Whatever.
I found it interesting that you won the USO Bob Hope Comedy Award.
Wow.
And I never knew you performed for the military. How was that? And when did you do that?
Well, I don't know if it was exactly a winning, because they gave the award to many different comedians. And what they did was they started to recognize comedians for their service to the service, like when Bob Hope was alive, through the USO. So the USO affiliations at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood decided, let's award like 20 comedians the Bob Hope Award, which is called the Bobby. It's shaped like Bob Hope. Oh. And to certain comedians who did a certain amount of USO comedy tours throughout the world. And since I had been to so many, and a lot of other comedians they had a big show at the Hollywood Laugh Factory, which was being taped on a talk show at the same time, a radio show, and that's when I got the award, along with about 20 other comedians.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Something I don't hear every day, so very good. And I've been hearing many things about your new campaign, Make America Italian Again.
Okay.
And it seems like you have an entire campaign going, so much so that you have merchandise. And I had the pleasure of going out and seeing you, and you actually signed a pair of the panties that I absolutely love. And you have an entire, gourmet of t-shirts and all kinds of sweatpants, and tell us a little bit about that.
Well, since I had done a lot of different shows and I was talking about if we had an Italian president and what he would do and what I would do, I decided, well, I'll make my new show called Make America Italian Again, which of course is a play on Trump's words, Make America Great Again. So I said, we'll make America Italian again. Right. I turned it into a web series, which anybody could watch on my YouTube channel, and it's called Make America Italian Again, Marino 2016. And I hope people will watch and enjoy. So we came up with some t-shirts that say Make America Italian Again, or Vinny Get the Bat, like you have the shirt and the underwear. It's great. I walk through airports and I walk down the street with a shirt that says Make America Italian Again, and people take pictures of the shirt.
Right.
I feel like going, look, just take a picture of me and buy the shirt.
Well, you always say, Vinny, get the bat. Do you have the actual bat?
I have a collection of baseball bats throughout my entire house. There isn't a corner that you won't find a baseball bat, because fans mail me the bats. I had one fan who worked for a tree company, and they knock down the trees and they make baseball bats for the Louisville Slugger baseball bat company. So he sent me these 4 gorgeous baseball bats if I would autograph some and send them back to him, and I get to keep mine, and they're all over the house. Now, true to life, when I was 16 years old and I got my license to drive, my father said, okay, here's your license, here's your insurance, there's the car, here's your baseball bat, keep that in the front seat in case anybody gets loud. So, shouldn't we protect ourselves?
Absolutely. And you seem to have a whole comedy routine. And you talk about the country events. And your cabinet, that's what I absolutely love, who you would have in your cabinet. Can you share that?
Well, we have Vinny in the cabinet. We got Joey, Nikki, Shalvey, Downtown Ronnie. My mom's coming.
She's coming.
Sure.
She keeps
you all in line. If I ever moved into the White House, they'd move the kitchen to the basement. Where's Mom? She's in the basement cooking. And then we'll say, Mom, why are you in the basement? Hey, if there's any trouble, who's going to hit the basement?
Right, absolutely. Well, and Mom keeps you in line?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I would think so. So do you have any words of wisdom of how you would keep America Italian again, if you could make it Italian again?
Yeah, if I was running the country, I would never tweet. I don't want anybody to know what I'm thinking. Nobody follows me, I follow them. We put the White House in different areas so nobody could find us. And then we changed the motto from what they're doing today to, you don't know none, you didn't see none, you don't say none. That's America.
Right.
You want to live here, nobody knows none. And I think that's the way we'd run the country. And we'd bring back different things the way they used to be, None of this put their kids in timeout. You got to hit your kids, you hit them good. If you ain't going to hit them, we hit them for you.
Well, then they could grow up with respect.
Respect.
And I
Yes.
think that's the thing that's missing these
A lot of
days.
people don't respect each other.
This is very much true.
You pass a law, you say hello to everybody. Hello.
Well, because most people are looking down at their phones and everything. Nobody has that eye contact anymore.
Yeah, you can't really hear what somebody's thinking when you read it.
No, you can't. Talk about miscommunication, doing
Yes.
a text message.
I don't like a text message. It sounds very mean.
It does.
You
Even
can
when
he-
they put the smiley face.
Yeah. Have a nice day. What do you mean, have a nice day? Is that a bad thing?
Might be
You're
a
being
bit-
sarcastic? I don't get it. All these acronyms. I don't even know what LOL is. Leave me alone. We're supposed to laugh out loud.
Right.
Imagine going to a comedy club and everybody just went, LOL. LOL. I'd quit.
You would quit. Well, because you get adrenaline from that on the
Yes.
stage. Absolutely.
It's the greatest high in the world, making people laugh.
Absolutely. Now, we've seen you at shows, and you are fantastic. I mean, I see that audience really laughing, and you really know how to work a crowd. You're great at your craft.
Thank you.
So for people that want to see where you're playing, know about you, where can they find your contact information?
MikeMarino.net. MARINO. MikeMarino.net. And then Mike Marino Live on all social media.
On all social media, and that's where they can catch all your shows as well,
Hopefully, yes.
which is really good. Now, tonight you're actually playing at the Cutting Room, right?
I'll be at the Cutting Room tonight here in New York City at 6 o'clock. I'm going to be the opening act for my cousin Peter Lemongello. They're doing a big documentary on his career. He was very famous in the 70s, and hopefully maybe some big movie deal is going to come his way, and I get to be part of it.
Yeah.
That would be great, fantastic.
Yes.
And you'll have more movie credits.
Yes, one more.
I
A couple
think-
more.
Well, good luck tonight
Thank
at
you.
tonight's show. And you're looking all spiffy.
Yeah.
You got your suit on. I absolutely
man.
love it. And yeah, just thank you so much for coming on the show.
You got it.
And when we come back, we're just going to share a little bit more about Mike Marino. And just stay tuned.
Ion Indie Magazine is a coalition of industry professionals that have joined forces with one goal in mind: to get all genres of music read about, seen, and heard. Ion Indie Magazine has been providing music lovers superb journalism and exceptional photography. Ion Indie Magazine is the fastest growing online music magazine today. We are the initiative for indie music worldwide. For more information about Ion Indie Magazine, check out www.ionindiemagazine.com. We love our artists, but don't piss off the fairy rock mother.
If addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues control your life, and you are ready for change, Recovery Spot offers expert outpatient care for addiction, pain disorders, and mental health issues. We offer focused, high-quality treatment specifically designed for you. The Recovery Spot, we offer new hope for those suffering from pain and addiction. www.recoveryspotny.com. We're located in New York City.
Hey guys, my name is Danny Felt. I am a singer-songwriter and music entrepreneur, CEO of Danny Felt Consultants. So I got started in music as a singer-songwriter. I was in studios since I was 14 years old, writing and recording music. I started a company called Danny Felt Consultants, which is a company to help connect music producers, photographers, web designers, and so much more. I have such a huge passion for helping people, for marketing, and for spirituality, and I just really wanted to combine them all into one. So I decided to create this really awesome program to help musicians with not only marketing, but empowering their mindset. We need more positivity and empowerment for musicians as a whole and the world as a whole, and I feel like this is a really great starting place. I look forward to seeing you inside the program.
Got an idea for an invention? Don't know what to do next? Call my friends at InventHelp.
InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. You can meet with an InventHelp representative who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. And InventHelp's databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to review new ideas, like yours.
Are you ready to put InventHelp in your corner?
Call now, 800 351 1395.
lift my hands to the sky.
Well, we are back, Mike. And one thing I forgot to mention is that you also have subscriptions, email signups, all kinds of things. And they could find that also.
Everything's on my website, mikemarino.net. If they subscribe, they get a newsletter, tells you all about where I'm going, what I'm doing, and discounts in those beautiful shirts and panties that you like.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, thank you so much for coming on the show and being a special guest on our premiere episode of Bear All. And if you have a show idea, questions, or comments, you can email me directly to Maryann@bearall.tv. I would love to hear from you. And now, I am Maryann Castello, and from all of us here at Bear All, until next time, we wish you love and peace.
But all you really can do is be there, and it gives you a bigger understanding of what you're up against and how you can, whatever you can do to help somebody, you do it.
Right.
And use whatever tools are around you.
And I could see you're still affected by this,
Absolutely.
even right now as
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah, well.
And we are back on Bear All. And Rich, I can't wait to get started. So let's get started right now. Their band brand is known for their innovative compositions, unique visuals, and performances. Our guests today have known each other for decades. They all have experienced some ups and downs, but they've never lost their brotherly love for one another. Let's welcome our guest from the legendary rock band Nectar. He is known as the bass-playing powerhouse and provides backing vocals. Derek Moore, otherwise known as Mo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And he is described as having fluidity rarely found in a drummer, and also provides backing vocals. Ron Howden, welcome.
Hello.
And it's been stated he's one of genre's most talented unsung progressive rock guitarists and provides vocals. Rich Shalanda.
Hello.
Hello. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. I could not be more excited to have you here today.
But don't come up to me and tell me my son's in a better place. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me God has a reason for everything. I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Now, I believe that God has a reason for everything. I believe that my son's in a better, but I don't want to hear it from you. There's nothing that you will say to me that will make me feel any better. So just say I'm sorry and walk away. Because any other word that comes out of your mouth is offensive.
I said, Mr. President, how about a selfie?
Did he do it?
Yeah, he said, put his hand on my back. He said, yeah, real quick. And I held the phone up, and the rest is history.
And how cool is that? There's one other thing that I'm familiar with. There's much controversy at the moment about medical cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been studying the effect of medical cannabis in my observations, and people seem to have a huge relief from it. So do you use medical cannabis with your patients? And how does medical cannabis help with addiction?
The real advantage of the medical marijuana cannabis type of system is that in the Alzheimer's patients, it is brilliant. It actually displaces the plaques which form in your brain. And from the Salk Institute, they have shown that you can reverse some of the Alzheimer's. Now that same thing applies in substance use disorder. Where you wouldn't want to use it is in a child or a person predisposed to schizophrenia.
You pick a category, we're going to read you a question. Might even give you some visual cues to help you out. So your categories are animal, vegetable, or New Brunswick. What would you like to start with?
Do you know what I want to start with?
Yeah, I do.
New Brunswick.
Yeah, of course you are.
Of course.
I knew that you were.